Howdy, folks, and welcome to the East Texas News Roundup for the week ending December 27th, 2019. East Texas News Roundup is a weekly review of the news of 5 counties in East Texas, covered by the Polk County Publishing Company newspapers in Tyler, Polk, Trinity, San Jacinto, and Houston counties. I'm your host, Caleb Fortenberry, and today you're watching the first ever East Texas News Roundup video. Join me as we discover the top stories of East Texas. All right, joining me is editor Chris Edwards from the Tyler County Booster. Chris, how you been?
Man, I've been all right. Fair to middling, somewhere in between, but I'm here. So
yeah. Well, what's new this week in the news?
Well, Caleb, funny you should ask. There's been a few things going on. Of course, I want to wish everybody a happy, merry, belated Christmas.
Yeah.
Yesterday was Christmas, after all. So, man, how was your Christmas, by the
way? My Christmas was great. It's one of the better ones I've had in a while. So,
right.
Yeah. Been in the spirit, Christmas spirit. Yeah.
Very good, very good. Well, again, Merry Christmas to everyone out there, in a belated fashion, of course, because you've already celebrated Christmas, so this is after the fact. But anyways, here's a few things that have been going on in Tyler County that are taken from our Christmas edition. Starting off with this story, this is a pretty big one for a lot of people. We have brought you news that Terry Riley, who is he's the city marshal of Ivanhoe, was recently dismissed of a charge of official oppression. And this was a big story that gathered, because Terry Riley has been many things in Tyler County for many years. And when this story broke back in June, originally, we were flooded with comments on our Facebook page. Almost, I would say 98% of them, I would venture, in support of him. And anyhow, basically the case didn't hold up in court, the case that the state tried to build around him, and it all stemmed from allegations that he had abused his power back sometime in 2018 to serve an eviction notice on someone in Ivanhoe. But anyway, the charge is dismissed, so all's well that ends well, I guess. All right, so
what else we got going on this week?
Well, another big story that we have is, typically we're centered only on Tyler County, of course, and being as we're the Tyler County Booster. And, when we do print news of a national effect, it's however it affects, or a national concern, it's however it affects Tyler County residents. Well, this week we had a little bit of news from Washington, D.C., courtesy of our Congressman, Brian Babin. Congressman Dr. Babin, he weighed in on the impeachment proceedings of President Donald Trump, and his take on them was that this was a dark day in American history, which was last Wednesday when the articles of impeachment were passed through the House, and that he expects President Trump to be cleared in the Senate whenever that should occur. Now, there's no official timetable on when the Senate trial will occur. Most are predicting it'll probably be sometime in January, but be that as it may, Babin and several of the House Republicans who voted on this, of course, it was voted pretty strictly among party lines. I think there were maybe 2 Democrats who voted against the articles, and all Republicans voted against both of them. But other lawmakers in the state of Texas have also supported President Trump in all of this, and we had some comments from some of them as well in the story that we put out about it. John Cornyn being one of them, and also Louis Gohmert, who represents a neighboring district, who actually served on the House Judiciary. So yeah. And anyway, for those who follow Representative Babin, it's funny because, he's been a dentist here for so long, so we used to call him Dr. Babin, but Representative Babin. I guess he's both, though. Dr. Representative Babin.
Yeah, he did my braces, too, so yeah, I know him, too.
But anyway, for those who follow him on Facebook, I'm sure you noticed he proudly held up his vote card, and so just voting no, it says hell no on it. So he's, I guess, showing a little moxie there, I guess. A little oomph in his vote, I guess you might say, as the kids might say.
Yeah, they might.
Who even uses the word moxie anymore besides me?
I think you're the only one, and that's probably why you're an editor and not me. So, hey, is there anything else that was going on this week, or?
Well, also, of course, be sure to check out this week's edition of the Tyler County Booster. Of course, we had it out a couple of days early because of the holiday schedule and whatnot with printing and so forth. And there's plenty of news in there. And next week's edition, we'll do our kind of annual wrap-up of some of the top stories that happened in 2019. But there's one other story I wanted to make note of. Warren ISD now has a new chief academic officer. Janice Knott was named to the position recently, and her philosophy is every student matters. And she said it is the responsibility of administrators to create equitable learning environments for all students. And she has served for a long time in various capacities in many districts, many of them in inner city districts, urban, suburban districts as well, since 1999. And most recently, she was principal of Lake Olympia Middle School in the Fort Bend ISD system. She served in that capacity since 2016, and before that, she'd served various roles, including associate principal, curriculum director, and so forth and so on at Austin High School, which is also part of the same district. So welcome to Warren ISD, Janice Knott. So they're doing big things and great things over at Warren ISD, so congratulations on the new appointee there. Anyhow, on that note, I guess I'd like to say once again belated Merry Christmas to everybody, but also for the coming new year. It's 2020, man. It's a new decade, so
Yeah.
if new beginnings for everybody. I don't really do resolutions. I think resolutions are for suckers, but for any of you who do, not to point a finger, but it's just the way I see it. But if anybody is into making resolutions or any of that kind of thing, do something good and let us know about it. Email us or post on our Facebook page, because we want to publish your whatever you see fit to do in 2020 differently. I guess we all could work to do a few things differently. But anyways, if you're going out on New Year's Eve, be sure to be careful. Catch a sober ride if you drink too much. And just be safe in starting off the new year. So, without any further ado, thanks, Caleb, and we'll see y'all in the new year. Man, how basic and white did that sound? We'll see you in the new year, but I said it anyway. So,
Well, we'll see you in the new year. All right. Thanks, Chris.
thank you.
All right.
I'm here today at Groveton, Texas, at the Trinity County News Standard with the editor of that paper, Jason Klapik. How's it going, Jason?
It's going well, Caleb. How about with you?
I'm doing good. So, what's new in the news this week?
Well, we've had a few threats at Trinity High School. Trinity ISD Police Chief Randy Wheeler briefed the Board of Trustees and the superintendent on these threats. One of them took place in November, where a student who is a minor and cannot be named because of those reasons made a threat on social media that a riot was going to start. And the said date of the riot was November 22nd. However, because of prompt action by the Trinity ISD Police Department, that student was arrested and detained on November 20th.
Go Boys in Blue. Is there any other details you can expand on?
Actually, yes. Earlier this month, there was another threat. This one, however, involved a little vandalism or Sharpie graffiti on a bathroom wall. The student who was the culprit in this event, also a minor who cannot be named, wrote that he was going to blow the place up. Surveillance video was taken of who entered the bathroom that day, and the police department interrogated everyone who walked into the bathroom between 6 a.m. and 11:45 p.m. that day, and they eventually got a confession and made the arrest.
Well, good. Is that that's pretty common for kids to write stuff in the bathroom, so but that's a little much. And definitely needs to be taken serious, so that's good. What else happened this week?
Well, I did have the privilege of driving around Trinity County and taking photos of Christmas lights or Christmas displays. And I posted some on the front page, or Amanda, our illustrious page designer, did. Here's one of the Trinity County Courthouse. And here's a couple of displays that were posted by First United Methodist Church in Trinity. And we'll actually have a photo page for that in the January 3rd edition. We did not have the space or the deadline criteria to get it in this week.
Right. Holidays, people are moving around, I understand. Well, I think that's about going to wrap it up for us. Jason, thank you so much. We'll see you next week, all right?
Yes, sir. We'll see you, Caleb.
So moving on, we're here at the Houston County Courier with the editor of this paper, Tony Browning.
Yes.
So what's new this week in the paper?
This week, we really want to focus on the census count that's coming up. The census count should be starting in March and sometime in July. We had a committee here, the Census Counts Committee, to educate everyone here early in December. And that article is in today's paper from Alton Porter. The biggest thing that they really want to let everybody know is that the census is something that is going to be confidential, and it is so very important to our county. The numbers on our census tell us how many people that we have, number one, which we want to know, because last year I believe we had, or last 10 years, I'm sorry, over 23,000 people. I'm sure that's gone up from this year. But those numbers help us determine how many funds that we get here from the government, how we get funds with housing, how we get our poverty level is also counted on that, and that helps us with funds here too. It also helps determine, in the like in the House and the Senate and such, how many representatives you get, depend on how many people live in your community also. So it's very important that we get those numbers counted, and it's very important everyone knows that it's very confidential. No one will see your name, nothing like that for 72 years.
Wow.
72 years, yes. Wow. That's a long time.
That sounds important. So what's the type of forms or the ways that they're going to be seeing this?
You're going to get it several ways. Most people, 94% of the people, will get it on either on their phone through an email, or they'll get an alert where you can on your phone number itself, where you can log in somewhere and fill out your form that way. Because they've discovered most people like to do everything from their phone or their computer at home. Right. If you don't respond that way, you will get something in the mail, or you will have someone come knocking on your door sometime in there just to get the information from you. Because we do have a lot of residents here who don't have internet out in the wilds of the county, and so they might not be getting that kind of a thing, but they'll come knock on your door. Right. But they will identify themselves, and they do have paperwork to prove to you that's who they are. You don't have to let them in your home. You can talk through the door, but answer the questions. It takes about 10 minutes. That's it. Okay.
All right, cool. Is there any other stories that you wanted to talk about?
Well, everyone here is still recovering from Christmas, getting ready for the New Year's. And one thing I would like to say, if you want to go to a safe place and have fun for New Year's, the American Legion is having their famous party that they usually have or whatever, but it's very family friendly, smoke free. There are adult beverages available, but it's really more of a family event.
Well, it's New Year's, so I mean,
that makes sense. Champagne. Gotta have the champagne, and I'm with you there. But hopefully that's gonna be good. So news is really slow, which is really great. And I will say that the jail report is really small, so that's nice. That meant people behaved over Christmas, and so we'll see how it is after New Year's, though.
All right. Yeah. Well, good deal. Well, thank you, Tony. We're gonna move to the next county, so appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thanks.
I'm here today in Livingston, Texas with editor Valerie Riddell of the Polk County Enterprise and San Jacinto News Times. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Got it. You
I
did
got the
it.
name right. How you been, Valerie?
I've been great. How about you?
I've been doing good. Haven't talked to you since last week. What kind of news we got going on this week?
We are specializing in people who were not at the top of Santa's nice list.
So crime.
Crime.
So
Yes.
what's the story?
Well, right before Livingston ISD let out for Christmas, they had a student call up a teacher at her home on her landline and told her he was going to kill her and kill the kids. So he has been detained, and that case will have to work its way through the juvenile justice system, and he's being charged with a terroristic threat. And nobody was ever actually threatened at school. They didn't find weapons or anything like that, but they are proceeding with it very seriously because, Livingston ISD has 3 police officers on its board. So
It should be taken serious. So I heard that there is a pretty big crime story going around right now. What's that about?
yes, Monday, a man was driving up to the apartments off of Mimosa, Ridgecrest Apartments in Livingston, and he had recently been released from prison and was having a visit with his child, and he apparently went over there to talk to the man his child's mother is now having a relationship with, and was shot and killed.
Which one was shot and killed?
The man who just got out of prison. The baby daddy.
Oh.
Yeah, his name is Justine. I have to edit.
Oh, it's okay.
But anyway, God, I can't remember the kid's name. But anyway.
So he was shot and killed.
He was shot and killed out in front of the apartments. Police spent hours out there recovering evidence. You got to pick up shell casings and all that kind of stuff. The victim was rushed to CHI, St. Luke's Hospital here in Livingston, but he did not survive. The shooter fled, but several witnesses of the shooting were able to tell police who that was. And ultimately, our chief deputy, Byron Lyons, got the shooter, spoke with family members of the shooter, the suspected shooter, and arranged to pick him up and take him into custody. So he's being held under I believe it's $100,000 bond at the Polk County Jail.
That's a big story for around here.
Yeah, it is. We've had several violent death cases working their way through the system in Polk, and I think there's 5 in San Jacinto County.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that it just takes a long time to get those ready for trial. Even if it's not a mystery who done it, you still have to have a lot of they still process DNA, they still run a lot of evidence through the DPS lab, so it takes about a year generally.
Well, is there any good news going around?
Did Santa come to your house?
He did, and he dropped a trampoline off of my kids, for my kids. So.
Have you hurt yourself yet?
Once, yeah.
All right. Yeah, we had a great time. I think overall, there have been first responders are getting a bit of a break. We're having a lot of grass fires, but a lot of the more ordinary crime that doesn't lead to anybody being killed or hurt, it seems kind of quiet while everybody's busy with their families, and all 9 grandkids really had a big Christmas at the farm, so we're ready to go to infinity and beyond.
And the next year. All right, well, I think that about wraps it up, folks. Thanks for watching. Make sure you tune in next week for another East Texas News Roundup. Valerie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week.
Be nice to each other.
All right, I think that'll wrap it up.
Madison Bland here. This segment could be you. You could be me. Have you ever thought to yourself, I would like to do a commercial for my business? Or I would like to do a video for my business? If you answered yes to any of those questions, I'd be glad to make that happen for you. Please feel free to contact me at my email, madison@polkcountypublishing.com, or at 936-327-4357. Can't wait to hear from you.